Have you ever been sick? Well, that's a stupid question. Everyone's been sick, but a better question is, have you ever been to the hospital? Maybe it was to visit your family or friends, but the worst time to be in the hospital is when you're there for yourself, which was the case for me about 10 years ago. Now you might ask, how did this beautiful, 6 foot, wondrous, charming, charismatic gift to mankind even get sick enough to go to the hospital? We'll hop in my time machine, Kia Forte, and we'll get a blast from the past. Okay, so boom. Here I was in kindergarten, an aspiring karate master, an avid member of the karate club at my school. After school, I knew I had a little bit of a sniffle and a sore throat, but I was still convinced I was the chosen one. The Green Ninja, if you will. After my sensei was done teaching us moves powerful enough to beat a fully powered feminist, it was time to go home. I hopped in my mom's car with my sister and we went home. Right as we pulled up to the house, I told my mom, I'm not feeling so good. Can I stay home tomorrow? She looked me in the eyes, hugged me, and she said, Boy, you going to school. Defeated, I asked her if I could at least go to the doctor to see what was wrong with me. And you'll never guess what she said. She actually said yes. So we went to the doctor, and to make a long story short, the doctor said there was nothing wrong with me, and I just had the flu. Come to find out, this doctor was a reverse feminist. Just remember that for later. The next morning, I was even more sick because I had to go to school. And I had to suffer through the most terrible classes like painting, snack time, and even nap time. Finally, the part of the day that brought me the most joy, karate club, as I walked up to my sensei, Mr. Bob. I did our pre-practice ritual where us pupils licked the mat, clapped 3 times, and clicked our heels together to summon the spirit of Bruce Lee. I was halfway through the ritual when I felt like throwing up, and Mr. Bob noticed. Caught my mom, and I had to go home. And you know it's not fair because I had to spend the rest of that day sleeping, but I was snug as a bug in a rug, having fever dreams. Well, I guess now, in retrospect, they're prophetic visions. That's what we'll call them. Prophetic visions of a reverse feminist trying to defeat me. But after having nightmares all night, I woke up in a cold sweat at about 2 a.m. I felt this unbearable pain in my right eye and immediately clenched my hand to my face. I seriously thought it was my last moments. I thought I was gonna die. My mom and dad rushed into my room thinking I was crazy. When I explained to them how much pain I was in, they immediately rushed me to the ER. But it took us a long time to get there. Like I don't think they were really concerned if we being for real. The people in the ER examined my near lifeless body when we got there, and they concluded that I had, drumroll please, a headache and a common cold. Obviously, I'm trolling, but I had toxic shock syndrome and my organs were starting to fail one by one. I began to have a stroke. I passed out, and the last thing I remember seeing was the reverse feminist doctor smiling at me in the dark corner as my eyes began to close. I remember waking up in the hospital bed screaming, Where are they? Where's the reverse feminist? My dad walked over to me to console me, hugged me, just glad that I was okay, and probably think I had some type of ism. My dad began to scream, Nurse! Nurse! It's a miracle! He's awake! As the nurse walked in, she explained to me that the reverse feminists had infiltrated the medical practices all over my city and were planning to take over the world. She told me I was the very first casualty in their attack, and I would have to relearn how to walk, talk, and even eat again through physical therapy. At that moment, I knew I had to protect women and all their rights since the women doctors and nurses saved my life. The nurse then said to me, Hey buddy, we had to take a skin graft from your leg and replace it with the infected skin to save the rest of your face. I was too shocked to say a word, thinking I was going to get a cool scar like Sasuke's curse mark or even Tanjiro's sun-breathing scar. She added, Buddy, last thing, you'll never be able to see out your right eye again. She held a mirror to my face, and I looked like this.